Welcome to Grub and our latest Lawson show of the season. It is so great to have you with us here on this Tuesday night in Durham. Coach, great to be with you as always. A lot of good things to get to, especially for your team coming off a 2-0 week with wins over Georgia Tech and Virginia last week. As you take inventory of the week that was, what stands out to you?
I think, being able to gut out the win on Thursday, obviously coming off of the West Coast trip, little fatigue there from the travel, and on top of that, Virginia is very good, and again is another kind of possession game there late, and we made enough plays to create the separation, and then just a dominant performance by us on Sunday. I think on both ends. It's great to see the balance that we enjoyed on the offensive end. We hit 11 threes, so you can actually you can see this team growing and getting better. If you watched us in November, I'm sorry. In December, we improved. And now in January, we're better than we were in December. And so the challenge is to be one of the teams that grows the most during the season. And, what's hard about sport, it's great about sport and it's hard about sport. What's hard about sport is that everyone is really locked into the beginning and the end, because we're all so excited in the beginning to see everybody. And we form these opinions of individuals and teams early. And then the end, there's a finality to it. And that sometimes can overshadow what happened. And the middle's like the most important part, because that's where you become who you are and you can grow. And so it's a great, it's always a great lesson for me, just in anything, is don't form an opinion too early on somebody.
I think there's an old saying, it's not about the destination, but about the journey. And it goes back to embracing the journey of a season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you have to understand that, I say this a lot, result is, you can't control it. Focus on your daily improvement, your daily growth, and your daily routine. And that's what you need to focus on. And if you do that, you'll find consistency. So we have done that. I can say that about this team, day in and day out. They have really been locked in and focused on their own growth and practice and what we need to do to be a good team. And because we've done that, I think we're enjoying consistent results right now.
Let me ask you about the possession games. You played in a lot of these possession games as of late. What does it say about your group's ability to play well down the stretch of these games, and just how battle-tested they are as we head into the back half of the ACC season?
Yeah, it's something we talk about all the time. I mean, when you play in the ACC and there's so many talented teams, you understand that a lot of them are going to come down to the end. They're going to come down to the fourth quarter. You're going to have to play your best, and you're going to have to make plays. You're going to have to get stops and make plays. And I love those games, and I love being in those games with the team. And they have done a great job of different people stepping up in key moments to make plays for us. And I thought Ashlyn late in the Virginia game, those two big threes, that three to put us ahead, to cap that run, and then obviously the three late when they had hit a big one to cut it to 2, and she hits one and brings it back out to 5. And so and there were other moments too. It wasn't just Ashlyn, but it's nice to see them all have those late game moments.
I know you rep these late game situations in practice. Is that where it sort of starts to lay the foundation of what you've got to do in a time and score situation to be able to perform in those moments when the lights are on?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just repping them in practice really at this stage. It's also just having dialogue about them more so than anything. And so we watch film of late game situations. We watch film of ourselves. We watch film of other teams in late game situations. And we have conversation about what would we do in these situations. Because where I learned that was 3-on-3. Because when I coach 3-on-3, you can't coach during the games in 3-on-3. And so over the meals like this, we'd have a meal with our team. We would talk about late game strategy, because I couldn't call a timeout and manipulate it and maneuver them. So we'd talk about it. We'd say, hey, what would we do if the score's tied and there's 20 seconds left? What do you think a good play would be to run? this is with my like 16-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. What if we're down 2? What would we do here? And just start to have the dialogue with that. And so we do that some of the times with our players. And then, of course, we have the luxury of timeouts and things like that. So I like to save my timeouts to the end. I know sometimes people don't like that I don't call them. Sorry, I don't care. But I save them for the end for that reason, so that we have times that we can regroup and you have multiple times. And then it's really important, I think, to save in the women's college game because we can advance.
Yep.
And so the power of being able to advance late and having multiple times to advance in case you need it. And that doesn't always mean you're down. That can be you're up, where we advanced it when we were up against Virginia, just to not have to take it to the backcourt, turnover, score quick, or 10-second count.
Right.
You can advance. And now even if they do get a steal, they got to take seconds to go. So we got to be past the break time.
Almost. We got about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I have one more question. From your playing career, do you have like a favorite buzzer, time and score, possession game as a player?
Oh, that I played in?
Yeah.
Oh, I made 2 game-winning shots, 3 game-winning shots in my career in college.
Okay. Do you remember who they were against?
All the same team. I swear.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I beat the same team 3 times on buzzer. It wasn't always buzzer beater. It was like 0.4 left or like 1.6 left. Yeah.
You'd think they would take the ball out of your hands by the 3rd time. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
just saying. I'm not a coach, but just saying.
Yeah, so I had 3. Yeah, one was on my 21st birthday.
Pretty good way to celebrate your birthday. No.
I can't say what I want to say about it.
Now we're at the break time.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll come back to Grub and have more with Coach after this on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. Where the Kara Lawson Show continues on this Tuesday night. So great to have you with us. We talked a lot about the Virginia game in our first segment, Coach. Back to the Georgia Tech game for a couple of minutes. You took that big 21-6 lead after the first quarter and then added on to the lead there at the end of the first half and into the start of the second half. How nice was it to see your team just come out of the locker room, continue to keep their foot on the gas pedal in that game Sunday?
Yeah, it was great to see. We didn't shoot around that well that morning. And I'll be honest with you, I was concerned. Sometimes when you have the game before the bye, you start going on the bye before you're ready to be on the bye. And then that morning we shot around and it was not up to our level. So I was a little worried going into the game of would we play with the required level of effort and competitiveness, and man, did they do that right out of the gates. So I was really pleased with their performance overall. Like I said, 5 players in double figures. It was great to see Riley, bust out again.
Yeah.
She had struggled from the field the last few games before that, and she's so talented, such a talented player. And obviously, Toby continues to be consistent for us, and Ashlyn, with 10 rebounds. I said after the game, I thought, I'd be dead before she got 10 rebounds. Honestly, I thought, I'll never see the day. And gosh, she did. We've been on her to rebound for 3.5 years, and she finally did. And then T got 9 boards.
Yeah.
But she rebounds. Mare rebounds.
She does. Yeah.
So I wasn't shocked that Mare got 9. And then the passing, I think Ash had 7 assists.
She did.
And
3 assists away from a triple-double.
Yeah. So they all contributed. Ariana, got into the foul trouble. I was proud of Ariana. She gets into the foul trouble early. Barely played in the first half. I thought it was unlucky first call. I'm going to use that adjective instead of another one.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
I thought it was unlucky first foul, and then the second foul. She barely just got in again. And I was proud of her because for any player, but particularly a young player, when you're so excited the game starts and then you get in foul and you have to come out and then you get in again foul. And it's like you just sit there for an hour and you don't even get to play. It's really hard to flush that and then come out in the second half and not be so emotional and upset about what happened and focus on what you need to do. And then she comes out in the second half and has double figures, and she's growing and improving every day as well. And so there's just a lot to like about how we played it on Sunday.
There are a lot of things to get into. Since you mentioned Ash, I want to get to this question on social media from somebody named Ashlyn out of China, Texas, who commented on our Instagram post and wanted to know, what did you think about those 10 boards?
Finally. I thought finally. Oh, God. Finally. Like I said, I thought I was going to be dead. Or, I should have known something. I said this, it started to snow that day.
It did.
And so it was I was either going to be dead or hell was going to freeze over. And then I think the snow was a sign that she was going to finally rebound.
Fair enough. I was struck, though, in the game. The margin is pretty big in the second half of that game on Sunday. And Ashlyn still diving on the floor for loose balls and facilitating to her teammates. Doesn't that speak just to the kind of leader and player that she has developed into?
Well, here's what happened. We started to play a little loose.
Yeah.
We weren't doing all that good stuff you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
So I called timeout.
Yeah.
And I made sure we was not going to be loose again.
Okay.
I shouldn't say I made sure. I told them to not be loose again, and then they did it.
Yeah.
But, we started to play a little pickup.
Yeah.
Pickup game broke out in Cameron, and I was like, that is card. That's card is pickup.
Yeah.
Cameron is games.
Game. Yeah.
We're not playing pickup over here. Make sure we're clear with that.
Right.
So there's a way you play. With the Duke jersey on and in that building, there's a way you play. And so you have to honor that. And so we lost our mind for a couple of possessions, and then we get back. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, I was proud. She took a charge on the center.
She did.
A minute something late.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's not many players or teams out that happens in.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back to Grub. Have more with Coach after this on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. this Tuesday night where the Kara Lawson Show continues. It is great to have you with us. And, Coach, since we got a question in from Ashlyn Jackson, I figured I'd go ahead and ask this one. We got a question in from somebody named Ariana Robertson.
What is happening in these dorms tonight?
Who wants to know what is one word to describe Ari?
Oh, my God.
I'm just the messenger here.
One word? I only get one?
That's what the question said.
Oh. I would say kind.
That's great.
She's kind.
That's great.
Yes.
We'll stick with Ari for a second. You talked about the strides that she has made, but can you just speak, just big picture, to how much fun it is to watch Ari on a nightly basis and the improvements that she continues to make?
Yeah, it's fun to watch her every day. I mean, she's someone that, is experiencing a lot of growth in her game, being the first time she's, playing for us this season and learning our schemes, learning our coverages, understanding the actions. And she's very talented on both ends and has ability to score in many ways, has ability to rebound, ability to defend. And I think her defense is improving. Her movement's improving as she gets more comfortable. So there's just a lot to like about her, and I think she continues to ascend. I think she continues to grow, and freshmen, typically their best basketball is February and March because they start to get it more and more with the repetition. So we have full confidence in her. We feel like she's going to be, she already is an important piece to our team and continues to play very well.
Considering she played volleyball and basketball growing up and came to basketball in middle school, does that make the growth that much more impressive for Ariana?
I just think she's a natural athlete, and obviously you look at her family.
Sure.
She comes from a family of athletes, and she's the youngest, and she moves naturally. She's very skilled. She's very smart as a basketball player. So it's just a matter of time for her and a matter of putting in the work as well, a matter of reps, and she picks up things pretty quickly. So, she's someone that, we liked a lot, obviously, in high school. That's why we wanted her here. And we all had to wait an extra year, with the injury. And so, I'm thankful every day that she's back out there.
Yeah.
It's great to see her out there and having fun and playing with joy.
I wonder what those pickup games were like in her household growing up, like in the backyard with all the athletes that were in her family.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent in the Robertson family, and they're very competitive, and they're very close. They root hard for one another. It's a great environment. I've gotten a chance to know all of her siblings and her parents, and it's just a great family.
We talked a little bit about this in the postgame on Sunday, but the professionalism that your team played with this past week, coming back from the West Coast, playing in two very difficult environments and two very different games, shouldn't go unnoticed, though, how well your team performed from a professional standpoint, should it?
Yeah, listen, I admire this group. And, in so many ways, and they've been such a joy to coach, and everyone wants to talk about the start, and I get it. It's easier to tell our story if you mention that, and everybody loves, the struggle and then ultimately the victory. But what I will share about this group is that to win your first 8 conference games, that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do, not in a really good conference. And they have found different ways to win. We have won by scoring 80, almost 90 points. We have won by scoring 60 points. We have won by, our defense. We have won by our offense. We have won in a close game. We have won in a blowout. We've won on the road. We've won at home. So they're showing that they're a team that can find different ways to win. And I think if you want to be in the thick of things in the ACC, you have to find different ways to win. And they've proven that they can do that for the first half of the ACC season. Now we're going to have to prove we can do it the second half.
We talked a lot about rebounding before the game on Sunday against Georgia Tech and matching their intensity and their physicality on the board. You out-rebounded them 51-28 and 15-6 on the offensive glass. Was that one of the more complete rebounding performances by your team this season?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, because of the rebounding help we got from our guards, I think Toby and Duane and Ariana, from an average standpoint, have done a solid job rebounding the ball. Do I think they can get more? Yeah. But I think they've done a solid job. Our guards, I think, are the ones that got to get more consistent on the glass. Outside of Mare, I think Mare's been pretty good. I think she's around 5 a game for a point guard, which is pretty good. But Jackson, Nelson, Wood, Wickstrom, we've got to get some rebounding from them to reach our potential.
What do you think are the keys to be a good rebounding guard? Is there one or two things?
I think it's just consistent effort, and obviously, what I will say of this about guards is one guard has to get back. When the shot goes up on offense, one guard has to get back. So some guards don't get offensive rebounds because their responsibility is back on defense. So one of the 3 guards, that's the responsibility for them. So if you see us take a shot, one of them goes back. So they don't have the same number of opportunities to get offensive boards that the forwards do. The forwards are supposed to go every time. Defensive boards, everybody has a shot. And I think that is about 1, boxing out, but then 2, like chasing down the ball and being relentless in your pursuit of getting it. So that's something that I think Mare's pretty good at.
I'll take a break. We'll come back to Grub, have more with Coach after this on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. Coach of the Blue Devils, Lawson. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Great to have you with us, Coach. Let's get to some of the audience questions that are here this evening. Mike asked, how do you compare the Duke team that you're coaching to the Tennessee teams that you played on?
What do you mean, like who would win?
I don't know. I just reading the question, Coach. Well, I think it's open for interpretation.
Well, we know who would win.
Well, we do, but
our team.
That's
would win.
That's great.
Yes, but they would say that they would win.
For sure.
But it would win.
Yeah.
The game is so different now than it was back then. What do I mean by that? There's a lot more threes that are being taken. For those of you that have watched the game for a long time, back then post players didn't shoot threes. Mm-hmm. Now everybody shoots threes. The game is more open, the spacing. Whereas when I was playing, there wasn't guards shot threes, but not forwards. Mm-hmm. So stylistically, it's different. I would say the skill level upon entry for players at the collegiate level now is higher than it was when I was playing. The skill level is higher. We had less protections. We practiced a long time.
Yeah.
You know, we were tough because like they have all these protections now. You know, we were just thrown to the wolves, man. So we, it was just different times.
I love it. Mitch wants to talk about Delaney. Says Delaney's been playing with a lot of edge and grit lately. Can you talk about her development?
I think this year she's being much more aggressive on the offensive end consistently. Of course, Delaney would have breakout offensive games throughout her freshman and sophomore year, but this year she's playing very consistent on the offensive end for us, double-figure scorer, rebounding. She's obviously taking on a bigger load in terms of minutes played and what her responsibility is, and it's all been great. I mean, it's what you would hope the progression is from someone from freshman to sophomore, junior. She continues to get better. Her feel for the game, her communication and her leadership has gone up this year. She's a great organizer for us. She's our most experienced front court player, and so she really helps Toby and Ari in terms of the organization and how it's supposed to be done. Even if she's not telling them all the time what to do, she is a model of what's right. You know, so she shows her approach and practice every day of what it should look like, and that's valuable. You know, Kennedy Brown did that for Delaney. When Delaney was a freshman, Kennedy was a senior, and Kennedy, even though Kennedy wasn't always talking every play to Delaney, Delaney could see, like when we do drills in practice, Kennedy would go first, and so then Delaney could see it done the right way. And then Delaney would go second, and then she could, if she knew nothing else, she could just copy what she just saw.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is valuable. She could just copy how Kennedy did it and then would eventually learn how to do it.
That to me, I know we talked about Kennedy and the relationship that she had with Delaney a couple of weeks ago, but that just seems like such a great part of sport where you can just learn from somebody who's been through these moments and grow as a person and then pass on your knowledge to the next wave, next generation of player.
Yeah, I think that's different now because it for us, like, that's about keeping players in your program to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not having a new group every year. It's, you know, you have a Kennedy who was with us multiple years, and Delaney now's in her third year, obviously going into her fourth year. I think that's the value of continuity and having players choose to stay here and play their eligibility here, their 4 years here. That allows that knowledge, that experiential wisdom to be passed down. And so I do think that's special, and I think it's more unique than it's ever been in the environment that we're in because you just don't have 3 and 4 year players at schools anymore.
Let me ask you about Mayer. You've talked to her about her a couple of times tonight. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists against Georgia Tech. I'm curious. I know, you know, she can score, she can rebound, she can assist, she gets out a lot of steals. How much does she read the game and knows, like, okay, maybe tonight I don't need to score as much, or maybe tonight I'm going to need to score a little bit more?
Well, she needs to score every night because we don't have that many players.
Sure. Yeah.
So she knows that.
Yeah.
But she understands what we need from each play. I think that she has grown in that. When I call a play, she knows what we're trying to get out of it, who we're trying to go to, what side to start the play. Like a lot of that, she's grown to that. Her sophomore year, you know, I would say, like, say I was calling a play, I don't know, like, say red, okay? So I call red. And in the beginning with point guards, you call the play and then you're hoping they remember it.
Yeah.
And they know what to do. And then you got to tell them what side to start on, right or left, depending on where everybody is on the court. So in the sophomore year, I would say, like, red. And then I say, go to the left to tell her to start on the left because I wanted, the way the play worked, I wanted her to start on the left. I don't have to do that now. I just say red, and then she knows, she looks at the floor and knows that she should start left or right.
Evolution, growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's great.
Because I don't have to work as hard.
Well, we're going to visit with Pierre Miller here in just a second. Coach, can you give me maybe a word on Pierre and what he means to the program?
Yeah, Pierre continues to do great work for our program. Pierre works with Mayer. Speaking of Mayer, we're talking with Mayer. Pierre works with our point guards in our program. And so he's been with Mayer for a couple years now. And so, you know, I say this a lot, but the lion's share of the growth that you see in our players is attributed to our assistants. And so Mare's growth of her figuring out what side to start an offense on, that's Coach Pierre. Working with her every day, watching film, talking about it. I didn't really do anything with that. I am a beneficiary of her knowing how to do it now, but he's the one that's teaching that daily and working with her and talking with her. And so, that position obviously is a vital position. You have to have a really good coach that coaches your point guards. You have to. Mm-hmm. And he obviously was a point guard during his playing days, and so that gives him unique insight into the position and how to develop and how to communicate with our players. And he continues to be a great resource for me. Continues to be a great developer of players, and it's something that I'm really, really happy that we brought him and his family here, and he continues to make an impact in the point guard position now and in the future. Mm-hmm. When you look obviously at Emily, who's just a freshman, when you look at Autumn Fleary, who we have coming in next year, who's a really good player, he's going to have a big imprint on our program and on our team and how far we can go with his work with that position group.
All right, we'll talk with Pierre coming up after this on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. We're back at Grub with the head coach of the Blue Devils, Lawson, and Pierre Miller, kind enough to join us here tonight. Pierre, great to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chris. Glad to be here.
There's so much to get into. I want to start, and I think we've talked about this before, but if you could kind of refresh our memory, why did you want to go into coaching? And when did you realize maybe I do want to coach, and this could be my vocation?
When I was in college, obviously playing the point guard position, you're an extension of your head coach. And so I had a hunch when I was in college that this might be something that I could do. I didn't know if it would be immediately after college. I got into coaching a year out after college. And so, but in college, I would say I had a hunch that maybe this would be something I would do. I could see myself doing it, impacting young people, being around them, and just enjoying it. So
you mentioned impacting young people, and I feel like that's probably why everybody gets into sport or coaching at some point, is to pass on their knowledge. Was that true for you, that you just wanted to impact the next generation of basketball players?
Yeah, you always want to try to give back to something that has done so much for you as a person, as a player. You learn so much about yourself playing the game. The game doesn't necessarily build character, but it reveals character. And so I would say I just learned a lot about myself, and the ability to just spend time with players, help them develop, help them grow was something that I was definitely interested in.
When did you fall in love with basketball?
Oh, I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. I mean, I was young. I played several sports. I played baseball, I played football, and then basketball was tagged on there as well. And I would say about middle school is when I kind of started getting exclusive. I still played football, but like basketball was starting to take the lead.
What was your football position?
Quarterback. Yeah.
Point guard.
Yes.
Quarterback. I'm sensing a theme here. Were you a pitcher on the baseball team?
I
too?
was. Yes. Lefty.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You've told this story about how you talked to your wife one day about how you knew you were going to coach at Duke one day, and you've told this a couple of times. Now that you've been here for a couple of years, is it what you thought it was going to be? Is Duke as special of a place as you thought it was when you envisioned to be here as a coach?
Yeah, surpassed it for sure. Surpassed it. It's one thing to think about it and to dream about it. It's another thing to live it each and every day, each and every week. Be around special coaches, Coach Kara, and the other assistants, our staff, and our players. To actually be around them every day and to experience what we've experienced the past couple of years, it's been nothing short of amazing.
Tell me about the players. Coach was talking a little bit about Mayer a few minutes ago, but tell me a little bit about what it's like to work with these players on a daily basis and to see their growth.
Yeah, they're so unique in that they want to be there each and every day. They want to work. They want to give, their all, which is just unique for young people because on some teams you have some people who want to work and you have others who are like they're resistant to it a little bit.
Sure.
Every single one of our players, they want to work, they want to grow, they want you to help them reach their full potential and give them tips and give them like everything that you have. And so for us as coaches, it takes a lot out of us because we have to grow and develop as well so that we can be our best for them.
I am curious for you, though, like to be able to play the point guard position at a high level and then to be able to coach it with these players. Does it give you maybe more of a symbiotic relationship? Does it deepen the relationship because you've both been through this? You know what it's like to have to run a team on both sides of the floor?
It helps big time. It helps big time, and especially to have, Kara obviously playing the position and then Karen Lang also playing the position. You have several point guards on staff. And so for us, it's like you get to glean ideas off of different people, and then being able to work with our point guards is special because, like I said, they're driven young people. And so, yeah, like for me, having played the position, I get to, instill some things that I've learned, but I also learn from them. They make different reads and decisions that I may have never thought of. And so when I see it on film, I'm like, oh, wow, we're adding that to the toolbox. So it's really a partnership, as you're saying, and it's a way for me to grow, for our point guards to grow, and it just keeps building.
Speaking of growth, how much have you seen the game, or where have you seen the game grow and evolve the most in your time since you finished playing and started coaching?
Yeah, listen, my son's favorite player, Steph Curry, it's my wife's favorite player too. The three ball has totally changed the game. And so, as Kara had mentioned, the ability to space the floor, it's really taken leaps and bounds. And you have players 1 through 5 who are taking the three, and then just the skill of these players. They're way, way, way more skilled. And so I think that's some of the biggest differences is that the skill, the three ball, and it's much more analytics, numbers driven. But yeah, I love the game and where it's at and where it's headed. And so, yeah, I'm excited about the future.
You made 207 three-pointers in your career at Presbyterian. How many could you go out there and make right now?
I still can make a few.
Okay.
Yeah, I still can make a few.
So I think we've talked about this, and you mentioned all the point guards on staff. No way the team would beat the coaching staff.
No way.
Right?
There's no.
We have Pierre. We're good. The rest of us might struggle, but Pierre can carry us.
Couple thoughts as I let you go. What are the biggest areas or growth moments that you think this team could have over the back half of the ACC season?
Yeah, I think it's something we always talk about is just like, hey, we want to grow every single day, every week, every repetition to get better and better. I think right now where we're headed, we're doing really good things, but can we do those things better? The areas of focus that we have on the offensive and defensive end, can we do those things better? Can we continue to grow more connected? We're doing a good job of sharing the ball. Can we share it even better? We're doing a good job of helping each other defensively. Can we do it even better? So it's like the things that we're doing, can we just excel in those things and continue to grow them to March? and reach our full potential.
I know your family comes to a whole lot of games, so I'm curious, when you get home after a game, do you get the scouting report breakdown from the family on what was good and what was not so good at the game every night?
No, they're really, they're really supportive. Not too much critique at all, but really just more so, Marissa, my wife, she's really into the game. And, it's just something we'll talk about the game and things that she saw and different things from the players. And the kids may have questions, but other than that, they're just really supportive. And, yeah, we just talk about the fun moments of the game.
I love it. Pierre, great to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Pierre Miller joining us tonight for the Kara Lawson Radio Show. We're back to Grub with more after this on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. Back at Grub with the head coach of the Blue Devils, Kara Lawson. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Coach, you were talking before we chatted with Pierre just about all the things that the assistants do and the growth that the players make working with the assistant coaches. That goes back to just bringing in good people into your program, doesn't it?
I think, the two most important parts of your program, first is players. You have to have good players, and if you don't, you won't be a good coach.
Sure.
And you have to have good assistants. If you don't have good in those two areas, it doesn't matter if it's good everywhere else. You won't be good. So when we got to Duke, the first thing I could control was the assistants, because when I got here, I had a chance to hire my staff. Mm-hmm. And then over time, we were able to upgrade the level of talent within the program. But we weren't able to do that in day one.
Sure.
But day one, I could go out and hire really good coaches and teachers. And so that's what we did. And then we've continued to just bring in some of the top, coaches in the country. And, their experience is very helpful for our players, for me as a head coach, and their ability to develop. We trust our ability to develop players.
We got a note from someone watching on the live stream tonight. Wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about Anna Wickstrom and the growth that she's made and the way she's acclimated herself to playing college basketball coming from overseas.
Yeah, she's a freshman and she's learning. She spoke English, before coming here, but I think she's grown in her understanding of our American basketball terminology. Because even though she's fluent in basketball, the way what we call things here is different than what they call things in Norway, and so I think that she's picked that up very quickly. She's very smart. School-wise, she's done really well. And, I know she misses home. It's not like it's just been easy for her to be thousands of miles away from her family and from her home country. But she is very happy here and has a great relationship with her teammates, has a lot of friends on campus. There's other athletes at Duke that are from Norway.
Sure.
So, she's obviously friends with those athletes and has gotten to know them. So there's a lot to be said. I think she's enjoying the community at Duke. And then on the basketball court, she has a good foundation of how to play the right way. And I think, in Europe, they typically do a really good job of teaching players how to play. And so there's a lot of things with Anna that we haven't had to teach per se, because she does it naturally is how she was taught to play the game.
We talk a lot about navigating foul trouble. We did earlier tonight with Oregano, the way she navigated that foul trouble. Delaney on Sunday drew 6 fouls, drawing 6 fouls from the other team. Is that sometimes more valuable than being able to play without fouling, or equally as valuable?
I guess who'd she draw them on?
I don't know. I didn't look that deep.
It can be really valuable if it's
sure.
a certain players she's drawing them on.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. But I do think drawing fouls is an important thing. If you can get into the bonus in a quarter early, or another player on the other team gets in foul trouble and now they're out of the game, that's something that can be helpful for us.
We didn't mention this at the show last week, ran out of time, but I did want to go back to it. We were out on the West Coast, had a chance to go to the Hamlin School and visit with the students there. I'm just curious how rewarding it is and how special it is for you to be able to go to these schools and see these young people.
Yeah, that's something that's been a point of emphasis for me this year, is to try to get out in the community more, not just here in Durham, but when we travel on the road. And so, we had the chance to go to New Heights Elementary in St. Petersburg, Florida this year, and the Hamlin School in San Francisco. And the excitement for our program and for women's basketball is palpable across the country. And I think that's more than anything what stands out to me is when I go to these places in different states, how excited they are, for about the sport and about the game and about Duke. And so it was great to, we even had one of the young girls in the school had on the devil horns that light up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, she came in with them on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You've talked before, though, about how your sister is a teacher, right?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to go visit these schools and spend time with these teachers as well, does that just go back to you knowing how valuable teachers are for all of us in our daily lives and the teachers that we all had growing up?
Yeah, I mean, you can't overstate the impact that teachers have on our society and our world when you really think about it. All of us were taught by teachers. All of us were taught by teachers, and the daily work that they do in our classrooms all across the country, teachers and coaches, youth teachers and coaches, okay, are so important. They're raising our next generation. Parents are, but the teachers are as well. They're spending more, think about it. They spend more waking hours with kids than parents do. If you think about it, like they're with them more. So the work that they do, anytime we can show appreciation to them, teachers, coaches of youth sports, so important. So important. You think about if you have a third grader and they go to school and they play basketball. Well, the teacher's with them for 7 hours, and then the coach is with them for 2 hours, and then maybe you're with them for the last 2 hours of the day, but they were 9 hours with somebody else. And so that's how important it is, the time that they get with people. So I appreciate it. I know my sisters do a great job teaching in D.C. and in Chicago. And, so I try to lend a hand when I can. I'm not available for substitute teaching. That's not something I will do, but I can go visit the class and then leave. Yeah.
I think you could give a pretty good math lesson.
No, I don't think I can make it in this environment. I think I would not be great. I can I can give a lesson.
Yeah.
I don't think I can stay the whole day.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'll be like, let me out.
I did want to mention this again because it was so moving and so impactful on Sunday with all the Special Olympics athletes that were in Cameron, and just how great it was and the joy that those athletes had being in that building was really, really fun to see.
It was great.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, we got a chance, the day before in practice, they came to our practice. They came to watch the last half hour of practice. And then after practice, they came on the court and got to shoot and play with our players. And they were so excited to be there and asking questions and getting, cheering. And they knew the players, and they just had a joy about, getting a chance to be on that court and meet our team. So that was great to be able to have that personal time with them. Because the game, while you might see them and interact, it's short. It's right before the game. You're going to have 10, 15 seconds to say hello, and that's it. Whereas there, we got real interaction, which was awesome. And then, the anthem.
No,
He was great.
It's the best one of the year.
He was great.
He was phenomenal.
And then the starting lineup.
Yeah.
They were. I was getting a little worried. I thought they think they're playing. I was concerned. I thought they thought they were playing, and so we get a technical if there's too many players on the court, and so I was concerned that was going to happen. So I was like telling Coach Elsie, like, okay, let's get them off the court so we can start, because I think they thought they were playing, and but that was great, and it was good all the way around. And then our guy Sam.
Oh, we love Sam.
Yeah,
we love Sam.
Sam is great, and Sam's sits on our bench. He works for our team on game days. If you see him there, he's one of our game day managers, and he's a Special Olympian as well. But he was working that day, and he's very serious about his job.
Yeah.
And he does a great job for us. And so he is always positive. I can count on him. I usually speak to him right before tip, and then I speak to him at halftime, and he's always very, very positive. He told me who his favorite players are, but I'm not going to share it.
That's fine.
Because there's too many people watching from the Twitter or something.
Yeah.
They might get jealous if it's not them.
The hug,
he has two favorite players.
But we'll keep it between you and Sam.
Yeah.
The hug that you and Sam share before every game, though, is also great.
Yeah.
I love it.
He gives great hugs.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And if he ever gives you a hug, it's the best hug you'll ever get.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Agreed.
We got one more time left to burn. We'll come back and wrap it up with Coach after this on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. The head coach of the Blue Devils, Lawson, as we wrap things up here on this Tuesday night. We were talking about Special Olympics a moment ago, and I was thinking about Special Olympics and going to the Duke Children's Hospital and all the things that your program is doing with the elementary school visits, et cetera. It's really important, and I know you've mentioned this, to be out in the Durham community and be out in our community and be a part of the greater Durham community, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's important no matter what you do. I mean, I'm a coach, and our platform is big in this community, being at Duke University. But I think no matter what community you're in, or no matter your place in that community, you should be doing things to give back to it. And whatever that looks like, whether that's your job, whether that's your church, whether that's a community center, or whether that's volunteering somewhere, we all should be doing that, as it fits. As it fits in our schedules,
Sure.
obviously, right? And so that's the thing is, even during our busiest time in the season, we have time to do that. So everybody has time to do that. Everybody can find an hour a week or a couple hours a week to volunteer and to help somebody. And so I want our players for that to be a part of their college experience as well, not just play, go to school. I want there to be some of that as well, and hopefully, that's something they take with them when they're done playing, is that they become volunteers in their community in different capacities.
I know we brought this up last week, but I'm hearing a lot of buzz about the Carol Lawson basketball camps this summer.
Yes, there's a lot of sign-ups already.
Really?
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah,
People
I
need to
know.
get involved and sign up if they want to come to camp.
Yes, I mean you should sign up soon. I mean there's a lot of interest, and we've already had a lot of registrants. Is that the right word?
I think that's right, yeah.
Registrants.
Yeah.
I did not go to Duke. Registrants. We've had a lot of those. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it. Our second year.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
Chance for the people in the young people of the Durham community to really come in and learn the game and get a chance to learn not just basketball skills, but life skills in general.
Yeah, and be around our players. They're obviously active presence at the camp, and we had a lot of former players come back and be coaches, which was awesome last year. So not just the current players, but some of the alums came back and were coaches in the camp, and it's a great time. So it's awesome. There's nothing better than playing in Cameron, that's for sure.
It's the best. All right, 2 games to decide who goes to the Super Bowl this weekend.
Oh,
Patriots and Broncos, Rams and Seahawks.
yes.
Who you got in the Super Bowl? Who's going to play in the Super Bowl?
Seahawks and Patriots.
And no hesitation. I love it.
No, I mean, first of all, I could be wrong, but did you see the Seahawks last weekend?
I did.
I don't know. I see anybody beating them
No.
up there.
No.
That place is crazy, and they got a good team, so I think they're going to win. And then the Patriots, I think they're going to win, even though their quarterback, But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think they will win.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
tough for the Broncos, too, with their quarterback going out.
I
It's
know.
terrible.
I was rooting for the Bills
Yeah. Yeah.
in that one.
Yeah.
And so that was a heartbreaker.
It was.
My parents are both from Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So big, they're big Bills fans. And so we always, rooted for the Bills and, the Commanders, the NFC team, and then the Bills were our AFC team because my parents are both from Buffalo. So we always kind of have a special place for the Bills. And, that stinks. Then they got rid of their coach.
I know.
There's a lot of coaching changes in the NFL this
is,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep track. So, so Patriots, Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll revisit this at the radio show next
Is
week.
that who you have?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. I really haven't.
Oh, okay.
I was just asking you. I wanted your opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have my team's out of it, so I'm just watching for the fun.
I forgot your team.
The Panthers.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I know. I grew up here, so yeah.
Well, your team was at least in it.
Right.
My team wasn't even in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
Bye comes at a good time this week for your team, you think? The first bye?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good chance to pause, and it also segments the season for you. We played 8, and now we play 5,
Mm-hmm.
and another bye, and then we play 5 again. So, every segment it gets harder.
Sure.
So these 5 are harder than the first 8, and the last 5 are, harder than the first 13, and so it's good. That's how it's supposed to be.
It is.
So I look forward to going up to Pittsburgh and on the weekend.
That's
We're supposed to get snow here.
We are, yeah. We are.
Oh Lord.
Well, yeah, I know. That's how I feel about it too. Let's go get warm.
I'm fine with the snow.
The ice.
North Carolina is not fine with the snow in general.
No, it's not.
But I'm okay with it.
Me too. Great to see you. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.
That's the head coach of the Blue Devils, Carol Lawson. Thanks for joining us tonight for the Carol Lawson Show on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield.